cultural topics right now.
Come
I'm
on.
saying.
Okay.
So right now, yeah, I feel like in this sort of Islam space,
Yes.
there's a lot of ideas about what it means to be a man, masculinity, and it's November as well.
Okay.
So you tell me, what do you think it means to be a man? What does
I
being a man mean?
think what it means to be a man should be defined to us from the Quran and the Sunnah. So I believe that there's a whole misconception. Like, alhamdulillah, Andrew Tate is our brother now. He's accepted Islam. But before he accepted Islam, people saw him, the Muslim youth saw him as a role model or somebody who's pioneering in,
I personally think that's scary.
But that is scary, but you know why? Because there's a massive gap. Because sadly, Muslim men are not men today. So when there's not real men, they're going to have to go and seek somebody who's going to play that role model, even if he's a disbeliever. Now, obviously, Andrew Tate was that person, but now he's our brother in Islam.
But was he even a good role model in any sense?
I wouldn't say he was a good role model. I would say there was things that he said that were truths, and there were some aspects of what masculinity could be. But obviously, there was a lot of things that was against that as well. So,
from my perspective, I feel like someone like Andrew Tate, back in his past, of course, was someone who preached about what it meant to be a traditional masculine man, but yet his own personal profits were made on the downfall to masculine men, i.e. gambling, OnlyFans, etc. And I feel like my personal beef, which I have with the community, is that once he was so quickly to take Islam, which, alhamdulillah, he did. Yeah. I feel like there was not enough scrutiny about public accountability for some of the stuff he's done in the past.
So the thing is, obviously, with us, we're stuck, in between two things. Number one, when somebody accepts Islam, it is wrong for us to remind him of his sins.
Okay.
So when we don't do that, our sisters think, oh, why are you not calling him out? If a sister was involved in OnlyFans and she was, argument's sake, doing some really bad stuff, if she came, the same thing applies. We can't remind her of, oh, but you did this in your before Islam and you did that, because it's slander. Slander, actually, one of the 7 major sins, there's many hadith about this, is to slander a righteous woman, yeah? Mm-hmm. Now, when the moment she accepts Islam, to us, is like she's like a virgin. And the ayah in the Quran which says, a zani, a person who commits sexual immorality will only marry a man that's the sexual immorality. This doesn't mean that a person, if a woman has come from a past and she's not a virgin anymore, that doesn't mean she deserves somebody that's not a virgin. If she's repented, she deserves a virgin. So what we say is that because of his past, we can't bring it up because it's unfair. So because we don't do that, our sisters think, oh, see, you brothers, you just turn a blind eye to his past. No, because he accepted Islam. Why do I need to remind him of his past?
Nah, but I think there's a distinctive difference between... No, I understand where you're coming from. Yeah. I think there's a distinct difference between, all right, slandering someone, reminding someone of their personal sins, but a lot of what Andrew Tate did was that he tried to be in the public space to cause influence amongst people and actively, spread his own ideas. So I feel like once you have that genuine sort of regret and repentance for what he's done, it does feel quite weird that he hasn't even come out himself to actually genuinely apologise for a lot of the ideas and harmful things he tried to spread.
Do you think his shahada is that apology? That the fact that he accepts Islam, because why? Has he referred to woman as B-I-T-C-H? No. If he's done that after, he will be accountable, because now he's accepted Islam and people around him has to correct him. So even if you notice, if you saw his interview with 6ix9ine, they mentioned some stuff.
I haven't even seen that video.
Okay, I've seen a clip of it. So he's like, okay, that's haram. Like, I'm not gonna. So you can see he's distancing himself from certain stuff. Do you get it? Okay. So we see and we judge from what's apparent. For now, we would just say, let's accept him as he is and let's see what happens. Do you get what I'm trying to say? And I think that would be just fair. And when it comes to masculinity, like you asked, I think the Quran and the Sunnah defines that. If people have a weird understanding of masculinity, that if one husband decides to help his wife at home, if they see this as emasculation, then they have no idea, because that's as good as insulting the Prophet, because the Prophet ﷺ was a man of his house. He would sew his own, garments. He would do certain things in his house. So we need to understand the definition through the Quran and Sunnah, not via, oh, this person said this or this person said that. Because our model is the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. And how he was with his wives, is how we need to be with him, and that's true masculinity.
Yeah, respectful, protected, but also 100%. Things I think that we haven't seen from Andrew Tate yet, which I think we do need to, present a careful eye of scrutiny on him, because he's such an influence on the large stage. Is ideas of modesty, being humble.
100%.
And especially I do feel like a lot of people in the community, especially like young Muslim women, they do feel betrayed by the Ummah. Don't you agree?
When you say, important, but what do you mean by betrayed?
Okay, by betrayed, I mean...
Why do they feel betrayed? What's made them feel betrayed?
As in, I think they feel as if the lack of scrutiny that people put on them publicly, not because of, like, as in no one's arguing that it should be a Muslim, but the idea that no one has really held him to public account. And I think this idea of a public account is very important because he established his profile on the world stage publicly. If that makes sense.
Yeah, that's fine. But again, look, if he accepted Islam, what should we do? Bring his sins up?
No. I'm not saying we should bring his sins up, but I think that there should be some sort of, because imagine if you're actually genuinely repenting for your sins, right? And you actually understand that, you know what, my whole identity, my whole fame has been predicated on being on a world stage in which I blame women for the downfall of man. Right? Because that's basically
no, there are truths to that, though. There are truths to that.
Well, I think that's another conversation.
That's truth to that. I'm talking about with him, his vulgar statements. Statements like, oh, if my girlfriend was to do OnlyFans, I want to cut off that. This is against the Sharia. But he said that before Islam. So again, it's like, okay.
No, we should accept him and take him in our stride. But I just feel as if a lot of Muslim men have turned a blind eye to not actually respecting the views of a lot of Muslim women in the community properly. That's what I think.
I would personally say that's an interesting discussion. Should we have that a bit more in detail?
Yeah, we should.
Okay,
I mean, not necessarily right now, but
let's wrap this up.
Okay,
and let's have a new conversation pertaining. I think that's an in-depth topic, and I think it'll do justice for sisters who are listening to this.
Right,
so let's wrap this up.
All right, thank you. I appreciate it.
No problem. So let's wrap this up. Mehmet, let's have a. Because you know what, it'd be nice. Mehmet, come in the middle.
But let me not be the vocal point for sisters in that. I feel like sisters.
No, but it's good because the fact that, look, I'll be honest with you, I done a podcast and I invited a couple of sisters who are maybe like mention about a few of the concerns that Andrew Tate has, and none of them came. So it's good that you bring it up because at least I can vocalize it via yourself.
Yeah, go on then.
Yeah. Why don't you come a bit? Remember, why don't you come? No, come a bit close.
Yeah, well, here we are. Here we are today. Yep.
Your flashlight is on.
Still recording. Oh shit, fair enough. Here we are.
A little bit closer, because you don't speak as loud, so.
Okay.
لازم بيزيدوا طرف والله.
هنا الآن نقول يا أخوي. What's going on, bro? You with the president?
Like, my boy's gonna be filming for the TikTok.
Yeah, sure.
Are you on TikTok?
No. A lot of my videos are, but I'm not. No problem.
Alright, when you're ready.
Yeah? Assalamu alaikum, brothers and sisters and dear friends. Hope you guys are well, inshallah. So we've got a TikToker here. What's your name?
I'm a person for TikTok. Now, Sean Ramiz.
Are you a Muslim?
Nah, so let me tell you my story, innit?
Because you look a bit like, well, there's no one looks like.
Yeah, no, I'm Muslim.
But like, are you Sikh?
No, this is a Caribbean thing, so I'm from Trinidad. It's not Sikh.
But are you Muslim?
Well, my family's Muslim, and over the summer, like, I've been learning a lot more, and I've reconnected with my roots, and I think, like, I haven't said my shahada yet, but I will, innit?
Inshallah.
Inshallah.
If it's meant to be today, let it be today.
Inshallah.
If not, whenever it is.
But then obviously, like, I have a lot of Muslim friends, like, growing up, like, I was raised, like, basically Muslim in my practices. But obviously, like, you know...
Okay, so what makes you think that you're not a Muslim? Like, before we get into the whole Andrew Tate thing, what makes you think you're not a Muslim?
No, well, before, I studied...
Okay. Let's start again, it wasn't recording. Okay, assalamu alaikum guys, I'm here with a brother, what's your name?
Sean Ramiz.
Sean Ramiz, how you doing?
I'm good.
No problem. If you want, you can use our audio, so you don't need to hold it. We can send you, it's up to you.
Oh yeah, you can send... Okay,
to make it, instead of holding it in your hand, yeah? So he's somebody who, your family is a Muslim?
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to talk about Andrew Tate and how some of the sisters felt betrayed by his not his conversion.
No, not his conversion.
Yeah. And we're going to come to, like, basically, you class yourself as a non-Muslim.
Yeah, I guess technically. Yeah.
Why?
Well, because I haven't said the shahada yet. But in my heart, I believe. Like.
Okay, but you have to utter it in your tongue. Okay, should we start with Andrew Tate first or show your shahada first?
Nah, I'm not going to take my shahada.
No. I'm just saying, I'm just talking about you as a, like, your interest.
Yeah.
Should we start off with your Islam first? Andrew Tate.
Nah, let's start with the shahada.
Okay, no problem. All right, so what's your... Why do you not define yourself as a Muslim when your family is a Muslim?
No, because so I was raised by my grandma and my mum.
Yeah.
My grandma's Muslim, but then obviously growing up, she like, because you know how sometimes I guess culture can get in the way of like religion.
Yeah.
Like we weren't really raised like with the practices, but I've never like drank or ate pork or nothing like that.
Okay.
But then I went to university. I studied PPE, philosophy, politics, and economics.
Yeah.
So then I think quite philosophically about things. So I've never been an atheist or nothing like that. It's just being about what do I actually believe in and actually trying to like understand what I believe in. Do you know what I mean?
Okay, so do you believe in one creator? Do you believe in?
Yeah. Now naturally, so Surah Al-Ikhlas is what my grandma always used to say to me growing up, and I never even knew the meaning.
Mashallah.
But I remembered it. So
Do you know the meaning now?
yeah, now I know the meaning, and it's quite fitting that I've never really not thought that there's only one kind of God. Like things like Christianity, other religions, they never made sense to me.
Okay.
But it was just my time to actually like look into Islam a lot more.
Okay.
After, you know what, I went to a trip with my boys to Morocco.
Okay.
And it was sick because then I really opened up my eyes. And
Wow.
I felt for the first time my heart opened up. But obviously, I feel like sometimes, because again, so I studied PPE at Oxford. Like,
Yeah.
it can really get in the way sometimes, like just academia and the way you kind of like bring yourself to Islam and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But like I've read a lot. I've been to like mosque quite a few times this summer, these past few months.
Yeah.
So like I'm moving towards it. I'm taking my own time and taking my own pace.
Okay.
Yeah.
But don't forget, your time of death is taking this pace as well.
Yeah, I heard that.
So you're in race. You're in race with that as well. Bear that in mind. So okay, let's get this right. So you affirm Surah Ikhlas. Qul huwa Allahu ahad. Say Allah is one. Allahu samad. He does. He's self-sufficient.
Yeah.
He does not beget nor is he begotten, and there's nothing like unto him. So that's, you accept that.
Yeah.
You accept the Prophet ﷺ as the final messenger.
Yeah. After
Yeah, you're a Muslim, but we're talking about.
Yeah. In the heart.
No.
I just need to say my shahada.
No, 1 second. If you're a Muslim, if the only thing is stopping you is that, bro, I'm so sorry. I'm gonna have to stick you on you. You know why? Let me tell you. My dawah style is this, yeah. I never ever like forcing people to take the shahada.
Yeah.
Why? Because if somebody comes to me and goes, oh, I don't know if the Prophet ﷺ is the final messenger, I say, all right, look, let me give you some material, take your time, ask me some questions.
Yeah, no, but I've gone through the material.
But when you are on there and the only thing you need to do is open a door, I'm going to have to tell you, bro, here's the key, open the door. And let me hold your hand and open the door.
I hear
Do you get it? So the thing is, if you believe it in your heart, why would you not testify it on your tongue?
Yeah.
Like I always say, what's your favorite dish?
My favorite dish.
Mine is Japanese.
My thing is jerk chicken, rice and peas. Yeah.
Come on, big man thing. All right, come on. Repeat after
I'm from
me.
the Caribbean,
Repeat
so
after me.
yeah, go on.
I like chicken, what is it?
Jerk chicken, rice.
Jerk chicken, rice and peas. Repeat after me, Black.
Go on.
I love jerk chicken,
I love jerk chicken,
rice,
rice,
and a bit of peas.
and a bit of peas.
Okay, so what you've done is you've testified what you already like in your heart on your tongue.
Yeah.
Now the shahada is obviously greater than this. I'm not equating it to the chicken and rice bit. That's all you need to do.
No, of course. No, I think there's other philosophical concepts I've got to work out my own, innit?
No. Tell me, I'll help you work it out together.
No, that's fine. We don't need to do this.
No. Okay, look, okay. Bro, if that's the only thing that's stopping the shahada, that's from shaitan, bro. Wallahi, that's from shaitan. You believe in Allah, you believe in the Prophet. You can, let me tell you something. As a Muslim, go and figure them out. Take your time. Yeah, take your time. Take 10 years to figure them out. That's not, there's nothing in Islam that says, I have these philosophical ideas, or I have some doubts. Before I came to Islam, there was a lot of things that I had doubts about. I got them answered.
Oh, are you
and there was,
as well?
Yeah, 10 years ago, yeah.
Oh,
so there was some things which I was like, I don't know, but I didn't let that stop me. Because I was like, as a Muslim, I can look into that. I just need to know the main foundational things. Allah is one. Is the Prophet the final messenger? Yes, he is. The Quran from God? Yes, it is. After that, any other things that I still had question marks on, I said, I'll get to that as a Muslim. Why do I need to follow that journey as a non-Muslim? Because I don't know when I'm going to die. So personally, I'll say, the philosophical things that you said, bro, take your time. Take 10, 20 years if you like. But why risk pursuing that and dying as a disbeliever while you can pursue that as a believer?
I hear it. Yeah.
So why do you, bro, it's not that deep, I swear to God.
Nah, but like, as in, I'll do it with like my peoples.
Okay, no problem.
Yeah.
So do it with your peoples, see them today. Do it, you don't even need to do it with your peoples, you can do it yourself. Look, you don't need to do it with me. When you're walking down the road, just see it, you're a Muslim.
Now I've said it in private before to myself.
You're a Muslim then.
Okay.
Alhamdulillah, we see you as a Muslim, bro. Yes, no longer, because you
you
belong to the family. I don't want you to feel, you are a Muslim. I've seen it. Alhamdulillah, you've testified it. Now let's go to Andrew Tate.
Yeah, let's chat about him.
Let's talk about Andrew Tate.
So like, I feel like, you know what it is?
He might be watching this,
Yeah,
So we're speaking to him. Andrew, our brother Andrew, yes. Let's talk to him. Brother Hamid, la ilaha illallah. Yeah, Gary.
I'll speak my truth, innit?
Yeah.
Do you know what it is? I feel like Yeah.
Karen. They give me too many of these, bro.
Yeah, there's bear on me right now.
Yeah, bear man thing. Come on, let's make it fair. Okay. Yeah, go. Carry on. I don't know about that. Yeah.
So the question.
So what's the problem with Andrew Tate? Are you on the sister's side?
Well, I don't think it's good to like have a sort of binary division.
Yeah. I'm
right?
joking. Yeah.
But yeah, I think so. But most of like what I've seen online, like, as in, like I said, the beef is not with anyone becoming Muslim. From someone becomes Muslim is a very beautiful thing, no matter who they are.
Yes.
It's just about the lack of scrutiny and the public accountability that people, and I think like role models of the community. I've seen Muhammad Hijab's interview podcast, and I just didn't like how there wasn't enough. Holding him to public account for some of the past things that he's done. Because what I think is that what I think from what I've seen anyways, is that someone like Andrew Tate has a very Orientalist view of what Islam is. And I think that Orientalism is essentially quite dangerous because it normalizes a view of what Islam as a religion is to people who don't believe already or don't see it, right? So like, if you're an individual, right, who like sees Andrew Tate as a role model because of like, I don't know, because of the liberal secular order and how like, you know, there's downfalls and pitfalls of it, I agree with that. And then you look to Andrew Tate as someone who's able to actually, you know what, this is what I feel like a man should be, this is how a man should act, right? Then obviously there's problems in his methodology about what he describes the downfall as, or the sources of said downfall, i.e. blaming it on women, saying very horrible, demeaning things about women. This is obviously in the past, right?
Yeah.
Alright, you loser! So then, right?
Can we have a clap for him? That was a sick comeback.
Yeah,
amazing. This is the Christians' comeback. Alright! That's what they accept this time. They think we're dealing with crackheads like this. Carry on.
So then now, he's already established as a figure who believes these things, and now he's found Islam. People can conflate the two and believe, okay, this is what Islam is all about.
Okay,
right?
all right, good point. Okay.
And then I don't think there's been enough public recognition, right? Because of his status and because of his role model as an influencer, someone who's the most Googled person on the internet. I feel like the lack of scrutiny and public accountability of his past actions is dangerous because it normalizes again that Orientalist vision of what Islam actually is.
Okay.
Hence why you have a lot of people from the community, a lot of Muslim sisters come in saying like, well, what's going on? I feel so like again, that kind of, I don't want to put people's mouth. Betrayed by the fact that we have these influences, we have these big figures in our community. We're not going to stand up for our concerns about what a man like this normalizes. Now, I'm not saying he's like that anymore. No one knows what's in his heart, right? But what matters, right, is not just the shahada. Because some people like, you know, see on TikTok, they say, oh, he took his shahada, he's fine now. No, what matters is intention. Shaitan is also a believer in Allah, a believer that the Prophet Muhammad is the last messenger, right? Saying your shahada is not a sufficient condition for changing where you are. It's a necessary condition, right? Like just because, okay, cool, your sins are wiped away. What matters is beneath that is the intention, and I feel like if someone was truly humble and took on the modesty and the principles that Islam teaches you, I just find it strange how he hasn't come to the forefront to actually say that, you know what, XYZ was bad in the past, it's not what I believe in anymore, etc. Because when you look at his reasons for becoming a Muslim, it's all about, oh, because you know what, you say something about Islam and people are going to come fight you, and like, I don't know, like.
I think he saw how Muslims are, you know, how strongly they're connected to their faith.
I know it's beautiful.
That could be. Look. Sometimes, let me tell you something, and I say this a lot. Someone might come to Islam for the wrong reasons, and he might stay for the right reasons.
Okay, I agree with that.
Now the right reasons could be that the moment he accepts Shahada, he needs to understand that he cannot refer to females as B-I-T-C-H or H-O-E. He can't. Not better not. He can't, because there's accountability now. We're not going to be watching me like that's Andrew Tate. It's not going to look like that. And let me tell you why. Because what I see, like some sisters that say this is betrayal, is that me and Hijab done videos refuting him. Why don't anybody talk about that?
I've seen some.
No, but the sisters do not talk about that. Well, did they make it seem as we were sucking up to him from day one? Bro, I done a video, where I called him a no value man. Not a low value man, I called him a no value man. Now why? Because I believe that he had no value to offer the Muslim man. There's nothing he can offer me.
I agree.
Yes, there's some facts that he can say here and there, but I called him a no value man, not because I have something personal with him, not because I dislike him, but genuinely he had no value to offer a Muslim man, because the Prophet ﷺ is the highest Muslim value, a man with value, then
precisely.
Exactly. So now when he came to Islam, as Muslims, what did we do? Did we scrutinize him before? Yes, we did. So the question is, sisters need to remember what we did. Not for them, we did it for the sake of Allah. When the Sharia calls us to refute somebody, we refute that person. When the Sharia calls us to defend someone, we will defend him. So what? It's not. Andrew Tate doesn't pay me.
No, I hope, yeah.
So, no, he doesn't. Best believe. So, the thing is, what we did was to say, Allah. Now, if somebody comes to Islam and says that, he knows everything he said before that is against Islam. So his shahada is as good as saying, I believe all of those things are wrong, and I'm going to, because you know why? He can't say that in Islam, but he can't come and say, oh, if my wife wants to do OnlyFans, she has to give me a cut. Number one, we will call you a dayuth, because the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ, that Allah will not look at a man who doesn't care about his woman folk, like who sleeps with her, who takes pictures with her. So this is maybe a major sin. On top of that, to ask a cut from it, it's like pim, yeah? So we know Islam is totally against that. Number two, the fact that actually I saw a video of him praising Muslim women to one of the other guys. He's like a...
As in like post-Shahada?
Yes, after Shahada. He was telling him, you should come to Islam, you'll get a good Muslim woman, Muslim women are like this,
Yeah, but...
Do you get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, I know, but like, he wasn't really saying, like, oh, you'll have a nice Muslim woman. He was saying, oh, Muslim women are loyal, etc., which is fine.
Well,
like,
what, isn't that praising?
No,
Does it?
I know, but...
In a time where we live where girls are loose.
But you shouldn't... The reasons for coming to Islam are not because you want a woman to submit to you.
Why not? Look, I'll be honest.
No, but I think it's reductive. There's a holistic picture that you have to look at.
One element.
Pardon?
It's one perspective.
Yeah, it's one perspective, but because of, like I said, we can't treat Andrew Tate, and like, this is obviously, if he was watching, no disrespect in it, but you can't treat Andrew Tate as someone who's a complete, like, you have to look at him as the person the whole time. Yeah. And then if you look at him just post-Shahada, I think you're extrapolating the fact that of all the other things he said. So for example, right?
We have to. Islam tells us to.
No, okay. But then, I think you have. Okay, cool. You have to, right?
It's not that I want to. It's I have no choice but to.
No, but like, for example, it's about critical thinking, right? Think about this. If a guy is telling you, come to Islam, well, them women are just going to submit to you. They're going to do X, Y, Z, and then pre-Shahada, he's telling you all these derogatory things about women. He's like, obviously, I don't know the ins and outs, but he literally has rape charges against him, etc. Yeah.
These accusations and this
accusations,
and these even slander. As a Muslims, we totally reject this.
Okay,
it can be slandering him.
Okay, cool.
So and as long as there's...
Okay, let me like be careful what I say.
Yeah, let's be careful, yeah.
Okay, cool, but like, cool, he has a complicated history about women, and he's still saying that, okay, come to Islam because they're loyal and they're not going to be like X, Y, Z. See, the thing about Islam, it means you respect all women, right? You respect everyone.
100%.
You don't disrespect. But then, like, what he's doing now is not even, cool, you're praising Muslim women for being loyal, right? You're literally, by implication, still not, you're still normalizing your old views, right?
How?
Because if you say, okay, come to Islam because they're...
Women cover up, they're loyal, they're obedient.
Yeah, I know.
They won't...
Again, but it's an Orientalist vision because he still probably holds all these views about women in general.
How do we know?
Well...
Because he has changed.
No. Okay, cool. You never know because look, I can't go into his mind and actually think what he has
so
to
that's
say.
What I'm saying. Let's take it from
okay, but I think it's naive, right, to look at him in post-Shahada as without reference to his past history, to the person he was.
We can, depends on what. So, for example, if a woman came to Islam and she was very pro-feminist before, Now, that is not the same as somebody who is hostile to Allah and His Messenger. Do you get what I'm trying to say? That wasn't someone who is outright hostile, because then we're like, okay, this is somebody who is an enemy. Now, if it's pertaining to gender roles and stuff like that, we have to be naive and be like, you know what? We accept this woman's shahada on face value. Anything that follows, we're going to keep a close eye. So if Andrew Tate turns around and says, you know what? I've got a Muslim wife now, she's carrying... If she wants to do OnlyFans, we're like, whoa, hold on a second. Bro, there'll be refutations, straight. So that hasn't happened. So if that hasn't happened, we have to give the benefit of the doubt, take it at face value and be naive until the Sharia tells us, well, hold on a second, he's stepping marks now. And then we're going to be like, okay, let's advise him privately because we have contact. Let's tell him this should be done. Now, if he carries on and does that, there'll be outright refutation. Our religion calls for us. That Allah says in the Quran, let there rise amongst you a group of people who will enjoin good and forbid evil. This is fundamental. That's why in our religion, when somebody calls to falsehood, we warn against that.